Hello, my lovely flowers. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I am the Whimsical Princess, and today is all about romanticizing the season. Spring is in full swing, as you know, and lately I've been thinking of all the ways I can make it the most whimsical. So I've put together a guide, a whimsical guide, if you will, to the spring season. So for all of you who need a little inspiration and some guidance on how to start, I've got you. We'll go over hair, fashion, makeup, and books, movies, like all the works. So without further ado, let's make some magic, some spring magic. Starting with my favorite topic, fashion. This first tip is really great because it's super easy to do and it doesn't require you to go out and buy new clothes. A really simple way to do this is just by bringing your lighter clothes to the front of your closet or the part of the closet that you first see, and to bring your darker clothes to the back or the part you don't really see. I like to be a little extra and do mines by color and style to make like a little rainbow, and depending on the type of dress I have, I'll have them all together. And sometimes I even vary it depending on my mood. So let's say one day I'm feeling like a very light green, I'll have that in the front. Maybe one of my floral prints, I want that to be on display. I want that to be the first thing I see. Or maybe I want more of a milkmaid style dress. I'll put that to the front. It really depends on what I'm feeling that day. I feel like it's a very easy way to get into the spring spirit. So this next tip is going to sound so obvious. I'm going to feel kind of bad saying it. Spring is a time for pastels and florals. I know. It is spring, so now is the time for you to bring out all of your soft colors. It's time to bring out the pastels and the florals. We want to celebrate our whimsical spring by adorning ourselves with soft colors. Wintertime, we were very muted. We had cream and maybe varying shades of blue, darker colors because we're kind of in hibernation, we're going slow. So you could have worn color, but it was probably darker or more muted. And you had layers, heavy fabrics. There's a lot going on. So spring is a time to slowly infuse color into your wardrobe. We aren't fully saturated in color like the vibrant summertime, but we are at a nice midpoint between the darkness of winter and the vibrance of summer. This is a time for butter yellows, baby blues, light greens, and soft pinks. And of course, flowers. Flowers I feel like are the unofficial but actually official symbol of spring. So any way you can incorporate it into your wardrobe is great. Other patterns that work for spring are gingham, especially ones with a light base like cream. I see mushrooms a lot if you don't want to go the typical floral route. They always tend to come out around the springtime, especially at like home decor places. Bunnies are also really nice, and strawberries are also a very cute pattern choice. I feel like I can't talk about spring fashion without talking about dresses. Of course, you don't need to have a dress to be in the spring spirit, but I feel like spring is that season where dresses shine the most. Spring dresses are all about style, but what's even more important is the fabric. I try to focus on having something light and flowy, something that feels a bit natural and feels like it would flow gently in the breeze. Okay, that's all I have for fashion. So now let's move on to hair. For the spring season, we are fairy girlies. That's literally what I wrote down in my notes. We are fairy girlies. And what I mean by that is that we are going for a very enchanted approach to our hair. one that's inspired by nature and woodland elements. The hair doesn't have to look perfectly groomed or put together. There might be a few curls that aren't contained on the sides, which makes sense because you have been running through a field barefoot with your dress clutched in hands. So it makes sense that your hair doesn't look perfectly coiffed. Another thing about spring hair, I feel like accessories are a must, as many or as little as you like. There's so many options. You can do flowers, butterflies, ribbons, maybe even a little glitter if you're feeling bold. This is the perfect season to really adorn your crown. An idea I've always wanted to try is making my own hair accessories. I've been really inspired by this creator on Instagram. I will show a little bit of her work now. She does these really elaborate flower crowns that are so pretty. It's like done in such a way that it looks like the flowers are going all the way down her hair, and it's so pretty and whimsical, and I really want to try it. I'm not as crafty, so I'm gonna see how that works out, but I'm gonna try because it is so pretty. And this goes into spring hairstyles. I feel like spring hairstyles are just regular hairstyles but with lots of accessories, little flower details or pearls, or like something just really whimsical, or like butterflies clipped throughout your hair. That's what really makes it like a spring hairstyle. The one I want to try is probably like an updo with like little ringlets and maybe like butterflies and flowers going all the way throughout. That would be really pretty. Also, there is one hairstyle that I think is peak spring, which is the Rapunzel braid. It's when they braid her hair and they put flowers and ribbon, all sorts of stuff throughout her braid. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I love the Rapunzel braid. It's so whimsical. So we've done hair, fashion. Now we're moving on to makeup. Even if you aren't a makeup person, that's totally fine. I feel like for spring, you can really go either way. You can really go glam with pinks and golds, or you can go kind of natural like Pride and Prejudice. There's really no wrong way to do makeup for the springtime. Anything really works. I would say maybe instead of the smoky eyes, to do more lighter colors. Really capitalizing on shimmer, I think, is a really nice baseline for spring makeup. Okay, so speaking of which, this might be a little controversial, but I'm gonna say it. I think spring is the season for blush blindness. I know. Before you click away, hear me out. I'm trying not to let my personal feelings for blush, let my personal feelings factor in. But if there is any season for blush to shine, this is that season. I think the reason I think that way and the reason I love blush so much is because I feel like it breathes life into the face. Much like the way spring breathes life into the earth after the long winter. It just feels right. So pink blush, red blush, peach blush, I don't care. Just put it on your cheeks and don't stop until you look like a fairy. Another, I feel, staple of spring makeup is highlighter. I am a huge proponent of highlighting, kind of a non-negotiable for me, but even more so for this season. My best advice is just to use any highlighter that complements your skin. I personally like to use more golden tone and preferably ones with more shimmer and glitter because I feel like it gives a more ethereal look. But if you want to be more subtle, I do believe they have highlighters that aren't as noticeable. And the best thing about highlighter is that you don't just have to highlight your face either. If you feel comfortable, you can also put highlighter your shoulder or your clavicle just to give it a bit more pop, and it just makes you feel like you're glowing and you are an enchanted fairy or fairy tale princess. Overall, for spring makeup, just do makeup that you feel most comfortable in and that makes you feel like you're glowing. That's the best spring makeup. Okay, now we got all the fashion and beautifying out of the way. Ooh. In true spring fashion, it's looking a little dark outside. I might have to adjust my lighting. Okay, let's move on to movie, show, and book recommendations. So let's start out with movies. I feel like I have most movies. I don't really have a lot of things for shows. Movies that feel like spring. Honestly, movies that feel like spring are going to vary. Feel like spring to me might not feel like spring for you. So I recommend making your own list of movies that you personally enjoy for this time of year. Movies that make you feel good, movies that radiate warmth and coziness and have lots of color and just make you feel like you're transported to a spring fairy tale. Oh, the light is coming back. The sun is going in and out, so I'm messing with my lighting. So the first movie recommendation is a classic. I have to try not to get too excited because I love this movie so much. It's The Sound of Music. Oh my gosh. This movie, I only just recently watched it last year and oh my gosh. It is amazing. Just everything about this movie just screams spring. The location, the singing, the colors, it's just so breathtaking. This is for all of my kindred spirits who grew up watching Princess Diaries and know that movie like the back of your hand. Julie Andrews, Queen of Genovia. She is a princess in this. Oh my gosh, she is, I did not know. I had no idea that our Julie Andrews, she's so good. I did not know she could sing. I was fangirling the entire time. She was dancing, she was singing, and she was performing. She's such a great actress. I mean, we already knew this because Princess Diaries, I mean, she was amazing, but like, whoa, she was next level here. And there was romance. And let me warn you, this is the type of romance that makes you like clutch your pillow and need a blanket around you. Like when I was watching her romance scenes, I was getting a little shy. It was so well done. This movie is springtime personified, and I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't already. It's just beautiful through and through. And do it for Julie Andrews. If nothing else, just do it to watch Julie Andrews. Just watching her was just such a joy. Oh my god, I need to move on because I will fangirl all day. So, The Sound of Music is the first recommendation. Another recommendation, Arrietty and Howl's Moving Castle, I feel like are amazing movies to watch in the spring. Not only is the art so vibrant with the colors and it's cozy, it feels like warmth. It just feels like the seasons are changing, the sun is shining more, you're going outside a bit more. It does a great job drawing nature and drawing those scenes. We have Sophie in her dress with her sun hat on, peak springtime vibes. Arrietty is a story about a little girl who is minuscule compared to humans, and it kind of shows things from her perspective. And she carries like a leaf on her back, and you see the raindrops, and there's this boy, and it's really cute. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's very, the imagery of spring is very, very beautiful. Studio Ghibli films in general, but these two I think feel most like spring. This next movie is, I feel like, a spring staple. It's Rapunzel. If you've seen it, you know why it's a spring recommendation. The colors, the saturation, the greens are like really green, the blue skies are really blue, and it's like a warm vibrance. It's just so beautiful. And then you have Rapunzel being a literal ray of sunshine throughout the entire thing. It's adorable. And the lantern scene, just so many great spring scenes. I feel like it's just so great for spring. Another recommendation or series of recommendations are going to be The Tinkerbell movies. I don't know if you even heard of Tinkerbell movies, but I was blown away with how much they fleshed Tinkerbell out. And if you like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Tinkerbell is voiced by the same voice actress of Katara, my favorite character. So she was phenomenal as Tinkerbell. I feel like this recommendation automatically popped in my head because fairies, hello. You can't really get more spring than that. But also fairies, the magical forest, different types of fairies. We have water fairies, my favorite, garden fairies, animal fairies. It's really, really cute. It's such a cozy spring watch. Really all of the movies, I don't know how many there are. I think there are more than 4, but all of them are really, really, really good. And I highly recommend you watch them. It's a great springtime watch. Another recommendation that I don't think comes as a surprise is Pride and Prejudice. And by Pride and Prejudice, I mean the 2005 film with Keira Knightley. I think that movie is literally perfection. There's so many iconic scenes. The cinematography is amazing. It has lots of nature shots, lots of hills, and they're not living in a cottage, but it feels very cottage-esque. So it just feels very fitting for the springtime. Very, very nice. Plus the romance is chef's kiss. And I feel like romance is very spring. Another recommendation is the Cinderella live action movie. This is another movie where the colors just feel so vibrant and it's just so pretty and heartwarming. The main actress is just so good, and that dress with the butterflies, it's just, everything about that movie is just perfection. Gardens, enchanted castle, it's just so pretty. Everything that you need in a spring movie. Another recommendation is Ella Enchanted. This was one of the movies in the 2010s that was like a modern medieval rom-com, and I feel like it hits the notes for being warm, being colorful, and just being funny, and just being a light-hearted watch. I feel like spring is all about lifting our spirits, so any movies that just feel like your spirits are being lifted is a very nice thing. And I think that this movie really fits the bill. It's really cute. And it has Anne Hathaway. It's just so great. So both of my girls are on the list. My Princess Diaries girls are gonna be very happy with this list. For shows, I feel like the only one that I've seen is really Bridgerton. From the opening alone, you can see why this show could be associated with spring. The main family, their whole motif is wisteria flower, and everything is just so spring. Tea time, balls, it's just very cute. But yes, Bridgerton is such a nice spring watch. Okay, so those are all my recommendations for things to watch. Now it's time to go to music. If you enjoy music, a way to feel that spring magic is to make your own spring playlist. If you need some suggestions, if you're a fan of instrumentals, some great instrumentals you can put are Studio Ghibli classics like A Town with a View and The Flower Garden. The Flower Garden is a bit more melancholy, but it's still nice. You just can't go wrong with Studio Ghibli music or movies, but music is great. You might like Kingdom Dance, which is the song that plays in the Rapunzel movie when Rapunzel and Flynn are in the kingdom and they're dancing and they're doing different things and having a montage. I don't know, this is such a vibrant spring song to me. I don't know. Another good recommendation is Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses theme from the movie. I really love all variations of that song, but really good cover is one by Min's Piano. I don't know if you can see that. MINNZ Piano. That one is really nice and soft. Or if you really want to feel whimsical and ethereal and magical, there is also a version by Anapantsu. there's also that version where it is all vocalization. So it's like you're a fairy in a magical forest, just dancing and just, it's just so pretty. It's so nice and whimsical. Also, in the instrumental side, Bridgerton style covers are also very spring. I have a lot of their style covers on my playlist. I feel like they do those type of covers for a lot of songs. So if there's a song that you like, you can look up the Bridgerton style cover version of it and it will give you a classical rendition that is just so cute and so spring. If you want recommendations for songs that have singing in it, some songs I feel like fit the springtime season are Laufey's From the Start, Lynn Lapid's Poster Boy, actually her entire To Love in the 21st Century album, and the cover is just so spring. Highly recommended. Radio by Lana Del Rey. She has other songs that feel very spring, but Radio for some reason feels the most spring to me. I Don't Care by Misoa. In the song in particular, she's singing about you'll find me singing like no one's there. She has sunflowers in her hair, and it's just such a spring mood of we're not caring what people think of us. We are wearing our hair like we want. We are dancing in fields. We are just being unapologetically ourselves, unapologetically our whimsical selves. And I think that that is the energy we need to embody for the spring season and every season. Another song is So This Is Love by Irene Woods, the Cinderella song. It's just, I don't know why, but I always associate it with springtime. And Pure Imagination by Joanna Wang. Actually, she has Pure Imagination and a song called Alice in Wonderland. Both songs are amazing. She sings them as if she's singing with the orchestra in like the old classic animation. For Cinderella, she sounds like she's singing from that era. It's so beautiful. She has a lovely voice. Highly recommend Pure Imagination and Alice in Wonderland. So good. So theatrical. I'm saying all this music, but if you aren't more of a music person, that's okay. Something you can do is listen to nature ambiance videos. Ever since I started listening to like nature videos, no music, it's just like bird songs and nature, I felt so much more calm. It's actually been great at like lifting my mood. My favorite one is by Healing Nature Meditation, and it's literally just a green field with flowers, bird song, and blue skies, and it's just beautiful. For peak spring, I would listen to it first thing with the sunlight streaming through the window for peak springtime vibes. It's such a great way to start the day, and it really makes you feel like it's morning or it's springtime, and I feel like it's an instant mood booster. Okay, now we've done movies, shows, and music. Now let's go on to books. This list is going to be very short because I have only recently started to read consistently. This January, I made a promise to myself that I would read more, at least one book per month, and I've actually stuck to that. I'm very happy with myself. So, of the books I have read, I put them all away for spring book recommendations. I've always wanted to do this. My first recommendation is Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. This book is actually a spin-off prequel series from the Tinkerbell movies. So if you watch the Tinkerbell movies, and if you watch Secret of the Wings you'll notice that Queen Clarion has a history with the Warden of Winter, and quite the history indeed. This book is about them meeting and them falling in love, and it is so good. The thing about fairies and things with fairies, it's just automatically spring, really. But this book in particular, the way she writes, it puts you in that world of everything is grounded in nature, everything is from nature. Like to drink tea, it's in a flower leaf, or they're using nature for their everyday knickknacks and lives, and it's so nice to read about. And she has really great prose. The way she described the settings and the field and the seasons, very nice. And there's actually a Minister of Spring fairy in this, and she is so cute. So even though it takes place a good amount of it in the winter, there's still lots of spring imagery and spring settings in this book. So I highly recommend it. It was very great, and it was the first book I finished this year, so it has a very special place in my heart. This next book I am actually in the process of reading now. It's called The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Very cozy. It's about a girl who may take some magic books, and she finds refuge in her family's old cottage. And when she's trying to get her footing and find her place, she meets this boy who kind of helps her get back accustomed to life. I feel like it's a really cozy, nice read. The thing that makes this book spring is it's a very relaxing read. I feel like it's a perfect book to just sit on the patio in the morning, have your tea, and just get lost in the story. It's very, very good. I especially read this when I want to slow down for the day and just want to be relaxed. So I think this is a really good read so far. So I'll tell you what I think when I finish. So this one I have not read yet, but I saw it and immediately thought spring because look at this. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies is about a Cambridge professor called Emily Wilde, and apparently there's going to be a dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival named Wimble Brambleby. So I was like, oh, there's romance, there's fairies. There's this cover, so I'm sold. This is my spring must read. I think you're seeing a trend here. I kind of tend to associate spring with fairies. How do I not? Look at the imagery. It is so cool because the pages are like frayed. It's just, it called to me. It literally called to me, and I was like, I have to get this book. So this is the next book I'm going to read. So, and this one I'm also planning on reading. I've heard lots of good things about this book and movie. It's a classic. It's Emma by Jane Austen, and I'm not gonna lie, I got this because it looks pretty. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the side. It has a bow, a basket. Look at this gold. Look at the back. I want to read this, and I'm going to read this. I might need a little help, but this is one that just screams spring, even if it's just from the cover. So that was all for my book recommendations. Now let's go to activities. So if you want some activities that put you in the springtime mood, I have a few recommendations. The first is really special to me. First one is putting doodles in your journal. I've been trying to be more consistent in journaling this year, and one way I've been trying to do that is by drawing doodles in my entries. So if you have a journal or want to journal, this spring is a great time to get more into drawing doodles or drawings in your entries, just to make things more whimsical. The greatest thing about this is that they can be simple or elaborate, really depending on what you like and what skill level you are. I am not that great of an artist yet, so I just do like little simple little drawings here and there. So if you aren't an artist or you aren't artistically inclined, you can just do simple things like add a little flourish, or a really simple thing I've been doing is dotting my eyes with flowers or hearts. It's really simple, but it really brings out a bit more whimsy. If you want to do a bit more or you need some inspiration, I would go to Pinterest and I was gonna say Google. I would go to Pinterest and search journal doodles, and they have so many cute and easy doodles you can try to draw and add, and little tutorials. And they have lots of cute spring ones. Like I saw a drawing of a lavender. It was really cute. So you can do things like adding a little vine, or doing like flower borders, or you can draw flowers, or something like simple like doing little grass drawings on the bottom of the page. Anything to add just a bit more life and a bit more springtime whimsy. Also adding colors, even if it's just tracing over letters or lines, also brings a bit more whimsy. For my next activity, making a spring bucket list, or as I like to call it, a spring basket list. You know, bucket just doesn't feel as whimsical, so I'm gonna say basket. So I've been finding these really cute ones on Pinterest and Instagram, but I find it much more meaningful to make your own. And bonus points if you add any cute visuals to the sides. Me personally, I try to do a mixture of easy things and things that require a bit more time or effort, but they all feel like spring to me. Some examples that I've put in mind are visit a garden, blow a dandelion. I actually haven't blown a dandelion in so many years. I think I was a kid the last time I blew a dandelion, so it's way past time for me to do that. Go inside of a greenhouse. I have never been inside of a greenhouse, so I think that would be so exciting. Put a real flower in my hair, or put a flower that I've picked myself in my hair. I don't normally pick flowers because I feel like the bees need them, but I want to pick a flower and put it in my hair. So another activity that you can do this spring is rain rituals. So rain rituals are something that I kind of stumbled upon accidentally. For reference, I used to like the rain once upon a time in the past, but since living in Florida, I've kind of grown to really dislike the rain, because when it rains down here, especially in the summer, it can get so hot and humid, and it rains on and off. So when it stops raining in the middle of the day, it will be so uncomfortable because there will be so much humidity in the air. So you're hot, you're humid, and you can't sweat, but you feel wet and kind of gross. So it's turned into a really sour spot for me, and it's kind of made me not enjoy spring as much, because I know April showers bring me flowers, right? But the rain isn't really, you don't look forward to the rain as much as you do the sunshine. But I actually changed that around because of rain rituals. One day when it was raining, really dark, I was in my room and I was like, you know, let me light some tea lights since it's dark, but it's not so dark to where I need to put the light on. So I set up some tea lights and I was like, ooh, this feels very cozy and very nice. I lit a candle that also just added to the ambiance. I decided to grab a blanket, lay on my bed, grab a book, and start reading. It just felt so nice. For the first time, I looked out the window, saw the rain, and I felt calm and relaxed, and I began seeing the rain is adding to the atmosphere. And after a few days, when it rained again, I did the same thing, and it kind of became a little ritual where I would just set up tea lights, grab a blanket, a book, light some candles, and make an event of it. Lo and behold, the more I did it, the more I started to look forward to the spring. And that was it was so nice to turn those negative feelings around and really see the rain for what I wanted to see it as, which rain is such a beautiful thing because it's literally life going into the ground. Rain is so necessary, and we wouldn't have flowers without the rain. I always wanted to treasure it by making an event of it, by having something that's special and unique that only happens when it rains. It makes it feel more special, and it helps me treasure it. So if you can, when it rains for you, try to do things that bring you comfort or add to the atmosphere. Maybe it's taking a nap, maybe it's being by the windowsill and just looking at the rain, but anything that can bring you joy during the rainy times. That is a way I have been really enjoying my spring. So there you have it, a whimsical guide to spring. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you got some good inspiration or tips on how to make your spring more whimsical this year. If you have any suggestions or anything you want to share about making springtime more whimsical, please feel free to share it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, I would really love it if you gave this video a like and subscribe if you feel so inclined to do so. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a very magical season, and I will see you soon.